Y'all see how the market opened up like? This is on a mini candle. That's a bag.
Started with nothing, but I built it up strong. Mindset tight, had to prove them all wrong. They was chasing cash, I
That's
was running the
crazy.
game. Now the bag come clean, I ain't stressing the same. Credit on point, that's the
Hold on 1 second. The market did what at opening bell? My goodness, look at Nas. Man. Oh my God. You dropped that 1,000, then went down to 1,500. But ain't nobody get that. Ain't nobody looking for that. Wasn't nobody expecting that. So anyway, let me go and check out Nas. Let's look at this on the 15-minute chart. I mean, it happened everywhere. Um, but if you just looking at the chart, getting ready for your market analysis, the live market analysis that we do here. This is your boy Theonish for you, saying what's up. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna look and see what the chart's showing with the naked eye. So this is what the chart's showing with the naked eye. Let me move this the candle out the way. And then we also like to start on Monday with the gold. So let's see what that looked like with the gold futures on Sunday. This is the opening bell at 6 o'clock, and it came up and took off. So we like to trade with the edge, of course. So we trade with the edge on 15 minute. We've known the market was turning around since Friday. So and we weren't looking for nothing but bullish moves. Well, it depends on really because I wasn't trading gold. If I was looking at gold, I wouldn't have been looking for buys at all because the market is singing that is bearish. So I wouldn't even looked at that. It just showed that the momentum changed, and then it opened up and go that way. So personally, without the edge, if you're trading without the edge and you're looking at gold, you might be like, "Ooh, it's this steady finna go up. This steady finna go up." But being able to look at it with the edge, I'm not trading. I'm not going to put any of my money uh, into the market right now looking at gold. So that's what we're looking at there. So I started at Nas. So if I go back to Nas on the 15-minute chart, that's crazy right there. That big old gap, and it probably fill it in by tomorrow, but who knows? It might just keep on falling. And the way that it looks now, the way that the song and the symphony is singing, everything, all the momentum is pushing downward. Everything is pushing down. We had been in on a bearish move since Friday, so we just been sitting on that. Those of us that's in this, so if you were already in this on Friday and you were tough enough to hold it throughout the weekend and got woke up today, you in hella profit. You a hella profit. So that's how we get down on the community over here. I always like to, try to open up and see if there's any questions. Hold on, let me go over to the book real quick. I mean, to my YouTube channel because I'm in the mention right now. Okay, so if I was looking at, some people like to trade stocks. So let me see GBP USD. Just for me, um, and nothing against forex at all. Nothing against forex. It seemed to me it moved a little bit slower. That's just my opinion. Uh, I don't even trade with the edge on forex. I trade with the edge razor. Like right now, that's the edge razor is on over here on GBP USD. The edge is not even on. So if I cut the edge razor, it gave us this pre-sale. This was the market open. It just opened everywhere open with its crazy gap. So it opened with this gap, and then it said, "Hey, we're going down the other way." So it just basically gave you an indicator the market is pushing down, if you're looking at this orchestra, you see the wealth line way at the top. If the wealth line is at the top of movement, then it is bearish. So you're looking for yourselves, and then everything else is well. This was just random the way that dropped below like that and just pushed this red. It just I can't predict that, but that's the move of what's happening. So we don't in our community we don't really even trade the red and blue candles. We trade the five lines, and that's how we keep the bulk of our money in our pocket. So once if you got GBP USD and you saw this momentum happen, and then this candle pulled, you waited, and then it pulled back to your entry because you got alerted on this one. So it came down. You're like, ooh, I missed my money. No, no. You wait for the next candle. You set your alert for where you got your alert at, and let the market pull back to that. You get in with a very smooth entry, and now you are in profit on GBP USD if you are using the musical notes that is given us, as well as when the orchestra, the conductor, hits the tick, 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 bing, gives you a notification. All right. So just keep looking across the board. Everybody, you either got a Android or you have an Apple. So if you have an Apple, then I highly recommend, if you are paying a cell phone bill with Apple, if you have a MacBook Pro, if you have a Air, if you have any of utensils that are by Mac, then you should be looking at the scanner every day and seeing how Apple can give you back the money that you paid it every 30 days, right? Okay, so how do you do that? Remember, you can use the edge on slower moving pairs like Forex or stock, but let's look. Because right now, the edge razor, which is tapered, slow back, it's pulled back, it's the line that can move slow. The latest notification that we received was Wednesday. Like, so if you were trading Apple and everything's lining up, you see the wealth line is on top, the momentum is on top, everything is singing the perfect song, and then the maestro said, "Hey, let's make money back from Apple, so let's sell Apple." So we've been selling Apple since Wednesday, and it spiked up, but you're still in profit when you got in here. So even though it spiked, you're still in this trade and still selling off Apple and continue to eat off of Apple. All right. So when you get out, here's your signs that can tell you when you can potentially get out if you so desire. But if you don't have that, this is what most people who are looking at the market, this is how they have to make their market analysis and mark up their charts. Some people do have EMAs on their chart, and man, definitely more power to everyone who has it. It's just a blessing to be able to just get a notification like, people send text messages every day. You ever got a text message that said, "Hey, let's make some money"? That's basically what this does. So everyone should definitely be using the sounds of the EMA. It's just something about having a maestro telling you on your cell phone, "Hey, it's time to chip in and make some of this money." So the edge being on, if I turn the edge razor off, you see how the edge does not see anything. How is that possible? Like, what's going on? I always tell a person, if you are using artificial intelligence and someone does say they have indicators, uh, and it's only one, and they say that the indicator works across all platforms, I highly recommend that they're looking to just sell you something, not really make you profitable, because algorithms are different all across the board. Forex indices, stocks, um, uh, gold, U.S. 30. There's a different Bitcoin. There's a different algorithm. So those hyper moving ones, that's the edge. I want to live on the edge. I want to go and trade gold because gold spikes. And if you're trading gold, I see. I didn't call TradingView and say, "Hey, make sure the very next candle that I show spikes. Can you do that for us?" I didn't do that. That's just how gold operates. So if you're looking at gold, and this is with the 750 edge, the last time that it gave us an indication to get into a trade, it was choppy. He was like, this was a 15-minute chart. It said, hey, it's a confirmed sale. We'll give you your 10. And it did go down. You see it drop down and gave you your 10. And somebody said, that ain't no 10. So I'm not going to even give you the whole candle, but let's go half of the red and let's go. That's 23 right there. That's 30. So that's well more than 10. But anyway, you got your 10, which is what we say once you get a notification solidified, you'll get at least 10. But the next candle, you know, the market turned right back around and said, "Hey, no, we're changing momentum." And you get an alert, you get a notification that says, "No, the sell momentum has ceased. We're going the other way." And what happened on that very next candle? It just shot up. So that's how gold moves. But what if I was looking through the eyes of, let's say, um, the let's see, if I was looking through the eyes of the edge razor? Remember, there's the confirmed sale, and then there's a buy saying the alert change. So let's cut that off, and let's go to the edge razor. Totally different. It looks at a different algorithm. It doesn't read the way that it should. Somebody say, well, shoot, that value ate real good. And you could have, you would have had you got that alert and you know, it hit your wealth line. It actually did. It blew, it broke past the clarity line and closed above the clarity line. So you stayed in and you took it all the way to the wealth line. So yeah, kudos to you if you use the 750 Edge Razor, because some of you do say, I keep them both on. I keep them both on. That's a lot. That's a lot. But yeah, this is a live market analysis. I just get on here every Sunday to show you guys, man, how you should not be looking at the market through naked eyes anymore. You know, wealth as a service is served in AI in all forms. So you want to be able to use artificial intelligence to your advantage in a $7 trillion plus a day industry, even if it's only to get you $200 to $300 per day. You know, that is the goal. The goal for me and how I do. And some say what I do is risky, and it could be depending on how you look at it. But what I do, and I trade Monday through Friday, and I trade NAS, and I trade on the 1 minute chart. So, whoa, you trade on a 1 minute? Yeah, I do. So how does that work and how does that look? I'm breaking this down in increments. We went from 15 to 10. I'll make it a little bit bigger. And each candle represents how long the time frame is. If I was on the 15-minute chart, 15-minute chart like I was, that's where we started. This candle takes 15 minutes before it began. It just started this new candle. So that new candle just began. You see it's red. So it's still going down in that motion for NAS. So then in a 5-minute chart, you see that time frame on that 1 minute, that's 3 time frames. So if I break this all the way down to the 1 minute chart, at the 1 minute chart, it still tells me AEMA song. And like here, it told me at 6 o'clock to enter the trade. I was not here at 6 o'clock. I was on gold with you guys. And had I saw this, yeah, I would have got into the trade myself. But because I missed the trade, do I chase the market? No, I never chase the market. So I wait for the next trade. I don't trade on Sunday anyway. But if a person is here on looking at this chart and they say, "Well, man, them only minute candles. Could you get back into this trade?" I read the EMAs. The EMAs tell a story. Could I get back in this trade? Yes, you could, because the wealth line is at the top, meaning it's pushing the momentum down. The clarity line is on top, and it's clear that it's pushing momentum down. The aqua line, the flow, is right underneath. So the flow is pushing down. And here is my momentum. The momentum is going down. The ignition line is curving. The ignition line is telling me for an entry, if this market pushes up to the yellow line, I can potentially set a sell alert to take the market from here and drop back down. Would you do that? How could you possibly say that that's going to happen? I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I am just listening to the orchestra of the symphony of the orchestra that the strings are playing. I watch the strings. Like I said, I'm not watching the candles. I'm not watching the red and the blue. Those are kind of like irrelevant. They're going to move and go up and down and bounce and wick and stuff. Those lines are going to stay steady. The red line may eventually come up and touch the yellow line. If it comes up and touches the red, I'm not talking about the blue candle, the red line. If the red line comes up and touches the yellow, that means the blue candle has pushed higher than the yellow. Correct? So as we are watching right before our eyes, and I said, what is going to happen? You could put a sell alert right on the yellow candle and then get in for the sale. If anybody who was watching did that, depending on your lot size, you had said, oh, wow, that's crazy. I just made a couple of $100. I just made 75. I just, whatever that it was. I didn't give you a signal at all. I just showed you how we are using artificial intelligence, how we are using the 750 Edge and the 750 Edge Razor to be profitable in our trades without using emotion. So that's how we do it, man. We always have 3 slots that we open up every week to share with those that are interested in getting that for themselves. And yeah, if that's what you think that's something that you want to do, then by all means.
To blow accounts, had to learn the pain. Now I teach the game, they just chasing fame. Letters hitting, debt forgiven, I ain't looking back. Now it's business credit first, watch the funded stats go. They still stunting with no plan in place. We structure deals, protect the name, guard the base. Legacy moves, I ain't
this is right when the market opened and Nas said, get in for the sale. Those students that already ride and do Nas with me who trade on Sunday, because I don't trade on Sunday, they're probably $1,000, couple $1,000 right now. Still in. But like I said, when this candle we were talking about, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but it was here. And I said, once the symphony says come up and touch the yellow, get in for the sale. Set your sale limit on the yellow. And it came up here, touched the yellow, and it dropped right down. Right now, for Nas, we're not doing anything. Why are we doing anything? The red and yellow are touching. They're touching each other. That's what you heard me talk about when it was down here, when there was still space. When there was space and we're still selling, the pressure is still going down. I said, once the pressure pushes up and touches the yellow line, that's where you set your sale limit. You got your sale limit and you made your few dollars while you were sitting while you were alive. Now the red has officially touched the yellow. What are we doing at this point? Nothing. We took our profit on this move right here, and we were done. That's whoever traded on Sunday. I just said I don't trade. I will see Nas every Monday at 9:30. I trade Nas Monday through Friday, 9:29 to 9:32. That's my trade every day. Yeah, no emotion, nothing. Just make my profits, go about my day. And if you want access to this yourself, definitely recommend I definitely want to be a part of that. Give you that. And we meet every Wednesday, so I can teach you guys exactly what it is that I'm looking for, why I take sales, why I take buys, and why you do the same thing. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
Rap.